Hello, my fellow speakers. This is Brian, the speaker for the dead, coming to you today with a review of the Netflix original series, The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. I was asked to do this by Xenocide, one of my subscribers to my channel. He even made it possible for me to do this. I don't have a Netflix account because I got rid of it because I had a hard time with Netflix in the past and some of the political things that they're doing and a part of. So I got rid of it. But he was generous and offered to let me use his account and his password to watch this because he wanted to see me review it. So here's going to be my review. Now, this review will have some spoilers. We'll have some pictures and actual film from the original film and the new series, specifically the intros. I want to use this as a jumping off point because I think it kind of will help explain my issues with this series. Just right off the bat, it kind of, I kind of went, okay. So let me, so we're going to start, and I'm going to show you the original intro to the original film by Jim Henson. And then we're going to take a look at the intro for the new series, and I want you to tell me if you can spot the difference. So if you haven't seen these, it's just the intro for the first episode in the original movie. So there's no real spoilers here, but I will be talking about some spoilers. So if you have not seen this first episode, don't watch this until after you do. Go away and then come back, because we're going to be talking about it. So without any further ado here, let's pull up the original here, and you'll have to bear with me. I'm kind of doing this on the fly, and we will watch this original intro because I want you to see the differences here. So widen that out. So I want you to notice right off the beginning the music. The music is really amazing for this first film, and this is a theme throughout the entire series, the entire film.
Another world, another time, in the age of wonder. 1,000 years ago, this land was green and good, until the crystal cracked. For a single piece was lost, a shard of the crystal. Then strife began, and two new races appeared. The cruel Skeksis, the gentle mystics. Here in the
Okay, so we're going to stop right here for a second so that hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. Because I want you to pay attention to what was just said. For 1,000 years before this, the land was green and good. Now it's been looking like this ever since. And that there was two new races that appeared. The Skeksis and the Mystics. Okay, those are important things to remember. You need to be paying attention to the details that are being thrown at you in this beginning sequence, because it's going to play in heavily to what we talk about with the new series. So, like I say, we're going to be jumping back and forth here, and sorry if it takes me a little longer. I don't have a multiple screen to do this, so I'm doing this all with one screen, and it's a little bit more complicated. So, but yeah, so here's, let's continue on from that point.
In the castle of the crystal, the Skeksis took control. Now the Skeksis gather in the sacred chamber, where the crystal hangs above a shaft of air and fire. The Skeksis with their hard and twisted bodies, their harsh and twisted wills. For 1,000 years they have ruled, yet now there are only 10. A dying race, ruled by a dying emperor, imprisoned within themselves in a dying land. Today, once more, they gather at the crystal as the first sun climbs to its peak. For this is the way of the Skeksis. As they ravage the land, so too they learn to draw new life from the sun. Today, once more, they will replenish themselves, cheat death again, through the power of their source, their treasure, their fate, the Dark Crystal.
Okay, so that's the original intro. Now, if you've seen this film before, you know that it's going to jump back and forth between and tell the beginning stories from different perspectives. It's going to talk about from Jen's perspective, one of the main characters, and different things from this point in. So that's kind of what's happening there. So we're going to jump here and go to the Netflix original series, and we're going to watch the intro for it, and then we're going to talk about the differences and what's happening here with this, because it's no, I'm not sure what to think about it. So here, let's take a look together and we can decide.
Another world, another time, another age. Thra, a wondrous planet circling 3 suns. And at its center, the crystal of truth, the heart of Thra, and the source of all life.
Great graphics.
Since the land was young, Aughra protected the crystal, for she knew that the crystal connected all the creatures of Thra. But closest to her heart were the Gelfling. 7 clans of Gelfling called
Remember
Thra
that?
home.
There's 7 clans.
From the proud Vapra in the mountain city of Harar, the most cultured of the Gelfling, who rule over the 7 clans, to the fierce Stonewood, who dwell in the endless forest, renowned for their prowess in battle, and the gentle Groton, who live deep beneath the ground, in perfect harmony with all of Thra, forgotten by the world above. For uncounted millennia, all of Thra existed in perfect balance. But then, new beings came, not of Thra. The Skeksis. They bewitched Aughra with stories of the universe and built her an orrery so that she might discover the mysteries of the cosmos for herself. And so, Aughra turned her eye to the stars. And entrusted the crystal of truth to the Skeksis. Almost 1,000 trine have passed since the Skeksis declared themselves lords of Thra. Now, once again, the Skeksis gather in secret as another day dawns.
And open
To
3
steal
doors
life
instead of
from
1.
the crystal they have sworn to protect. So they may replenish themselves. Cheat death by harnessing the power of their treasure, their prize, their prisoner, the Dark Crystal.
Okay, so that's the intro to the new season or the new series. Okay, now, yeah, it's awful. I'm sorry. There's no other way to describe it. They've completely retconned the original storyline. We know that the two races appeared at the same time. Now, I don't know if they're going to bring them in later on, but I don't know how you do it now and not make it look weird, because they never talked about the Mystics. They talk about the Skeksis, and that they showed up on their own, not as one race, but as two, but a separate race. So, it kind of goes downhill from there, and this would have been fine. But the problem is they're using all the original characters. I mean, there's so many problems with this intro. One, I love Sigourney Weaver, but the original guy who did it for the original movie did it really well. And they should have found somebody just like him or gotten him to do this again. Assuming the guy's still alive. This was in '82, I think, was when the movie was made. But it says that the Skeksis and the Mystics were once numerous, and now there are only 10. Well, in this story, there starts out with only 10. I apologize for that. But yeah. So this has, I mean, they've completely gone. So if you're going to watch this, and this is what I'm kind of trying to figure out here. If you're going to watch this, you have to completely forget the original movie. From what I'm seeing, you've got to completely forget this movie, the original Dark Crystal, because they have completely retconned the story. They have completely changed it. This is a prequel, or this is acting as though the original film never happened, because they've changed everything. The crystal was not corrupted over time by the Skeksis. And the Skeksis don't steal their life from the crystal. They steal it from the sun in the original movie. They gather in the crystal chamber once again to gain new life from the sun. I mean, if you so anyway, just right off the bat, you're gonna have to understand that this is a completely different story. Basically take everything from the original film and flush it down the toilet. Hollywood's good at that. Hollywood's good at doing that. Taking something that was a great story, that had a great following, that has amazing everything, and then they take it and they think, I'm smarter than the people that made this a success. I'll just change everything. So, and then the story for the first episode doesn't get a whole lot better. I'm not going to talk about too much here, because basically you can see the difference between the two right there. If you're going to like this series, you have to forget the original film, because within the first episode, you can tell that nothing's going to be the same. The story's completely different. Everything's been turned inside out. This is obviously a prequel, but now I don't know. Maybe they're going to try and tie it back in. Maybe the Mystics come in at a later point. I don't know. But from what they're doing here, I don't see how you can go from where they've just started this series, which is a prequel, and end up where the movie started, because you've immediately changed that story right off the bat. And this is what Hollywood. This is what I said. This is what Hollywood does. Hollywood takes something and they screw it up. Nothing being made right now is as good as it was back then, and that's sad. And I'm not saying that as a 45-year-old going, back in my day, I was blah, blah, No, this is from an absolute creative standpoint of they're just ruining stuff for the sake of I don't even know what at this point. I had hopes for this, but I mean, you see it in the original preview, but they the crystal always stayed stationary. It stays where it's at. But in this one, like, these claw things come up and grab the crystal and pull it down and stuff. And in the original one, there was a reflector that they put down there to catch the rays from the crystal. Oh, not in this one. No, they grab the crystal and they pull it down into the chamber where the scientist is at to do work and stuff on it. And then the one thing I did like was that they got Mark Hamill to play the voice of the Skeksis scientist. But I don't know if none of the people from the original film were available to do this, but Frank Oz isn't part of this. I thought Frank Oz was still alive. but I don't know if we didn't want him involved, or he didn't want to be involved in this, which would tell you something right off the bat if they couldn't get Frank Oz on board. Maybe it's because Frank Oz probably saw this and went, no, I'm not. I don't want to be a part of this. You're gonna destroy Jim's dream. You're gonna destroy one of the greatest creations that Jim Henson ever made. I mean, it's really sad. I'm going to continue watching this and stuff, and I'll probably make a more in-depth video on the first episode to give you a better breakdown of it. But I wanted to do a quick video right now just on the intro, just to show you that this is a different story. This is not going to be what you grew up with. This is not going to be great. This is Star Wars, Star Trek, and everything else all over again. Now, I was hoping for something different. I was hoping that they weren't going to do this, but they are, because they can't help themselves. The main protagonist in this is going to be a girl. She's the chosen one. And I'm just like, wow, how unique, how different of you in 2019 that you've chosen a girl as your protagonist. I think there'll probably be a guy, and he gets introduced later in the thing. But, they've already started talking about how girls are better because girls have wings. I beat you in a race because I have wings and I'm a girl. So, I mean, I can already see that's where they're going to start trying to go with this. It's just like, really? You couldn't even get through the first episode? Which, I'm not against girl heroes, okay? Don't get me wrong. But seriously, in a year where that's all they're doing, maybe go against the grain, do something different, or make dual protagonists of a boy and a girl. Make them united, a team that one can do things. I mean, but good Lord, we can't do that. No, girl is going to be she was chosen by the universal tree or whatever, and you'll see that in the episode. But anyway, so I was hoping to make a positive video on this, but as I watched this morning, I almost shut it off halfway through the episode, and I just like, no, you need to muscle through this and do this all the way, because maybe this gets better. I've been a big proponent of wait and see here lately, because everybody's like losing their freaking minds over what might be. Well, I wanted to hold off on this and hope that it was good, and maybe they figure out a way to flip this story around and make it make sense in the end. And maybe this girl protagonist is going to be a great thing. I don't know. We'll have to kind of watch and see. But anyway, I'm excited about doing this, and also, as everything else in this year, I'm slightly terrified by it. So if you like this video, please like, share, comment. I'm going to be doing a series on this, which is kind of weird because it's a binge watch show. They dumped the entire season for this, just boom. So it's not like, every week I can do this, but I am going to do it episode by episode, unless it just gets really bad, and then I'll give up on it because I don't want to put nonsense into my brain anymore, and I don't want to support Netflix or anybody else that's making crap material based on something that was way better the first time around. Anyway, so let me know what you think just about this intro and the differences you see. Is it something you can live with? Am I being too nitpicky? But I'm sorry, when it comes to backstory, when it comes to story continuity, I expect things to remain constant. I don't like it when future creators go back and retcon a former a TV show or a storyline to fit some new narrative that they've come up with. It's not that I'm against slight changes or doing things a little differently or try and make things a little bit better if you can and stuff, but that's not what they're doing. They're just like throwing out everything that made it great and sticking their ideas in there and dressing it up in the same clothes and pretending like, oh, you see, this is just as good. No, it's not. Anyway, so I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong on this, but I hope you guys get out there, have yourselves a great day. I'm on my way to work, so we will talk to you next time. Bye now.